Last year I set myself a simple goal. Find something that I enjoyed making that was a repeatable product that I could sell. I ended up landing on Bookmarks. While I was injured, I fell back in love with reading books. Of course, I've read the classics, my favorite being the Count of Monte Cristo. I also enjoy reading sci-fi, but more lately, I've actually been leaning towards romance novels. Those authors often use repeatable processes with customizations in order to make their books not exactly the same, but still have that feel-good feeling that you want at the end of it, which so does woodworking. So I started creating a process for creating bookmarks. They're the perfect use for scrap wood. A lot of offcuts are still absolutely gorgeous, and slicing them down just exposes more and more of that beautiful wood grain. Plus, bookmarks are easy to customize, they're quick to create, and honestly, they're just fun. So I set out to create a process using scrap wood and spent a few months refining how exactly I wanted to make these bookmarks. The early attempts weren't great. My first approach involved resawing, sanding, and then resawing again, which was very time consuming. My resaw cuts also weren't great, but I still managed to get 8 blanks at the end of it, which I did consider to be a win. But I knew I could do better.
What we do here is go back.
I changed things up and I made the blanks slightly oversized first and then dialed in my bandsaw setup, which had the largest impact in production. The resaw cuts were cleaner and they came out closer to their final sizes, which means that I could take full advantage of the width of the boards as well as spend less time sanding. The next big question is thickness. Too thin and they snap in the mail. Too thick and they start stretching and ruining the spine of the books. So to make things simple, I made a simple sled for the drum sander and brought them down to 1/16 of an inch or approximately 1.5 millimeters. They're still delicate, but they're firm enough that they're going to survive the mail.
ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
Now that I have a solid process for making flat, consistent blanks, it was time to finish and customize. Power tools were way too aggressive for anything this thin, so instead I set up a hand sanding station and then eventually added some optional ribbon or tassel holes to add a pop of color, because everything does look better with a pop of color. For customization, I picked up a wood burner that I could try. I'm not amazing at it, but I feel pretty good with how my first time went using it with a little practice. I also learned that darker woods didn't do as well with the burner as far as showing customizations, but the red oak and white oak that I was using did. Between the two red oak and white oak, I actually enjoyed using the red oak more. It just felt warmer. Finishing was the final step, and while I did try shellac on exactly one piece, I immediately decided to nix that idea and use spray lacquer instead. It would just take too long to use the shellac versus the spray lacquer when I had some bookmarks. After a few coats and some wax to take down the shine, these were all of a sudden ready to go, headed into full production mode of Bookmarks. I'm still not totally sure what I'll do with these yet, whether that's sell them or use them as gifts, or more than likely just both. I'll update my page with my Etsy store information later on, and you can of course purchase with them if you would like, if they're up there. But for now, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed hanging out while I figured all this out, I really appreciate it. You guys can hit that subscribe button, it really helps me out, as well as the like button. If you feel inclined to leave a comment, let me know what wood species you think would make a great bookmark. I'm always wanting to know more about different wood species, and this would give me an opportunity to spend more money, obviously, at my local hardwood dealer. I'm pretty sure they would be happy with that. Thank you again so much for watching. I hope you guys have a good day.